Welcome back, tourists, to another episode of Tabletop Tour Guides, where you're gobbling up each adventure, and also talking about prostate exams right before the episode. Um, I'm one of your hosts, Drew. We're in my location today with your other host, John.
Yep.
And Mike could not make this episode. He's, I believe, at a softball tournament. So he's actually probably in bed now, but.
It's a
Never know.
little late.
It's a little late, yeah. But we'll pour one out for Mike. So, anyways, before we get into today's topic, which is actually a pretty interesting topic, I'm actually really interested to know your answers on this topic more. What's on the table? What have you been working on, John?
Okay, so I know your schedule's been hectic, but I do have a tournament next week, the OWN GT.
Okay.
That's at Game HQ. And,
in Oklahoma.
Yep, in Oklahoma. So my Ultramarines, I have about 5 more models at various stages of being done. So I've been just working hard to get them done.
Okay.
And that's really about it. I did finish up my wife's Magnus and have been just working on 1,000 Suns where I could find time, but nothing else really comes to mind. War Machine. I did airbrush my War Machine starter.
Yep.
Box.
I saw the Cricks you started. The green looks really cool.
Yep.
Big fan. Cool. You need to come and play a game with us. It's actually pretty fun.
I know. Wow. Just one Monday I couldn't make it so far. But the next Monday, it's 2 days away, people, and I'll get my first little game in because I don't have all the models yet. Although I did buy the big expansion. Sorry. I haven't bought it yet. It's held up at the store for me, the big expansion box for them.
Oh, yeah, the Cricks auxiliary box. Is it that what it was?
I think so.
Yeah, one of the two.
Core expansion box.
Core expansion box, yeah, because there's 2 big box sets for each faction. And it's the core expansion and then the auxiliary box.
So I don't know if that'll give me the rest of the points I need. I only had 30 whenever we were doing the math last.
Okay. It'll probably put you at 80 to 100.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get close. If I need to buy another box, I will just finish it up.
Yeah, and you could probably at that point, the command boxes that you already got.
Mm-hmm.
What's cool about that the command cadre, that's what it's called.
Okay.
I found out as something that's actually pretty cool. It's not relevant right now for where we're at in the game, but those boxes are being marketed as universal to any subfaction of each army.
Okay.
So it's kind of like Infinity, which I kind of was hoping it wouldn't be this way, but in tournaments, you get 2 lists to play, and both lists have to be the same subfaction. So it is pretty much just like Infinity, where if I'm playing Pan-Oceania military orders for one list, my other list also has to be Pan-Oceania military orders. It can't be military orders and then Vanilla Pano, or military orders and a Consentimiento or Svartalheima. There's no mixing and matching. And so in War Machine, right now the only faction that has 2 subfactions is Signar. So if I go to a tournament playing Signar, there's Storm Legion and there's Gravediggers. I can't bring a Gravedigger list and a Storm Legion list. I have to bring a Storm Legion and a Storm Legion, or a Gravedigger and a Gravedigger. Yeah. So while this doesn't matter really right now, because a lot of the factions only have 1 subfaction at the moment, the command cadre boxes are all models that will go across every subfaction.
Oh, so I could use it for anything.
Yep. So if you decide to change subfactions later, if Crix gets a new subfaction soon, and you're like, oh, that's way cooler, you can still use those jacks and that Warlock or whoever, Warcaster.
Yeah.
In that one as well. That's what I was told. And the only way I was able to verify that was I used the Signar one, and it is true. The Signar one is across both factions, so
that's fair.
I can only hope that that's the case. Yeah. So anyways, so you're getting ready for OWN, trying some War Machine out. Pretty much in the same boat. For me, I am ready for OWN. I got my list submitted and everything today, and Knight's got their Codex model spoiled.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, so there's a new Knight, and I got to say I'm a little disappointed. It's just another big Knight.
Okay, well, you're going to say you're a little disappointed, okay, but that big Knight is still better than what the 1,000 Suns are bringing out for them.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, we're not comparing.
Well,
I mean, you guys already suck, so it's not my fault. I was just hoping for at least yours is a whole ass new model.
That's true. It is.
It's not a rubric marine with a different arm.
That's fair.
That's
fair.
I mean, like, I'm sorry that GW gave you a crappy looking model, but they gave me just the same model again. So I probably won't buy it. I'm kind of like the knight player in our meta and on our team. And a lot of people have asked me, am I going to buy the new knight? It's all going to come down to rules. Probably won't. If it was an armature, if it was another armature chassis, I'd buy a box for sure.
But it's going to be good, and we'll want it for a tournament or some kind of practice. So we're gonna get it.
We'll see. It depends on what the guns or whatever.
Yeah.
It depends on the dome, the little shield dome on top of its hole. Whatever that does could be, because if it's just like, everybody within 6 inches gets cover, I don't give a shit.
Right.
Like, why do I care?
It needs to have something special.
Yeah. It needs to be like a 4-pin
abilities are going to be something unique to make it better than the other knights.
Sure.
Just to get cells.
Sure. For now, yeah. If it's like it just has a 4-pin bone, like itself, base, it's worth bringing then.
Yeah,
for sure. Because I spend a CP for rotate ion shields every round. Right. So now I just get to keep that CP. Or I get to use it on Canis Rex, who can do it for free.
It's fair.
So either way, I'm getting to keep that CP.
I hate to say this, the Armature is probably going to go to the Chaos Knights because that's all they run.
Oh, sure. Yeah, they're going to get another new Armature chassis. I've also been working on War Machine though. John can actually see my K-Door that I'm working on. I've got one jack done and all its options, and then I've got another jack about halfway done, 3/4 the way done. And then I'm hoping to play again on Monday as well, and have a good time with that and see if we can get some more games in. I'm having a lot of fun playing War Machine. I mean, I've only played like 2 little battle group games, but the game is very crunchy, very good rules, very competitive, and like not in a bad way. And so I'm kind of hoping it's a game that sticks around and we play it a lot on the channel. If it ends up being something that we both end up really liking and don't get bored with it, and they've got a bunch of new releases coming out, so
I'm sure we won't get bored with it.
No,
unless the missions just decide to really suck for some reason. I think we're pretty solid on War Machine right now.
Yeah, as long as we don't get into the thick of it with the gameplay and then realize, this isn't something we like. I think we're going to be pretty happy with it. So we'll see what happens. So
all right, sounds good.
So that's what's on the table. I'll speak a little bit for Mike because he has been doing some stuff. Mike has been getting really deep into Trench Crusade, which is awesome. He got a whole army, got it all primed up. He's been working on it. He's been playing games with Chris. So he's been doing a lot of Trench Crusade lately. And he's also been working on a lot of stuff for the store, the Unplugged Games and TableTop Games and Hobby here in Edmond, Oklahoma. We've been doing a lot of renovations for fixtures, and I've been personally installing a bunch of lights that Mike's been having me. I work there now. I got a job. Oh yeah, man, I got a job.
Yeah, there you go.
I got a job. There's an on the table. I finally got a job. Yeah, so I work at the store full time now, which is awesome. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. And so Mike's been doing a lot of stuff to really improve the store's inventory, its look, making it just a lot, cooler of a place to be. And he's also been playing a lot of Trench Crusade. So
I will give you that. So me and my wife came over to the store, and the inventory, I saw pictures of it. I wanted to pick up those assault jump intercessors and all that. Boy, those were sold out so fast.
Yeah.
Man, look at all that. And then I saw the lights and everything. My wife saw the lights too, and she just loved it.
Cool.
She thought it did a lot of improvement to the back.
Good.
And the countertop she enjoyed because it didn't look just so crowded.
Right. Yep. It was a little more organized looking. It looks, very, very uniformed, very lit up. You could actually see what you're buying.
Yeah. So she really enjoyed it. And we looked around, and I don't remember what we all bought when we were there, but we bought quite a few things. I know. What is it? Those little shot glasses for D&D.
Oh, the collectible ones they just had come out?
She got the Beholder one.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
those are probably 2 of the best ones to get.
Well, the Mimic, she got monochrome, though. The Beholder, she got the full paint. But she won the Mimic with
the full paint. Yeah, that's fair.
So she's looking again to get more.
Those are cool. Those are super cool. And they were pretty affordable. They were $20.
$20, but they are made of glass. She thought it was plastic or something at first, but then she realized it is glass shots. So we've already taken a couple shots out of them. here and there.
Exciting.
So.
Very cool. Got it. I think they're for dice.
Yeah, they are. They're the smallest dice, and because we have a little kiddo, we put them away, and we're like, we'll just
we'll just drink out of these instead. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, got it. Outside of that, we're both getting ready for tournaments all over the place. We're doing a lot of prep work for different GTs. You can probably see folks don't normally get to see this in view normally, but the printers are going to town on stuff for Feel No Pain GT, which is going to be really fun. And I think we're really picking up.
What is today? The 10th, so it's like barely a month away.
Yeah, it's like a month and a week, month and 2 weeks. So month and a half. Yeah. So I'm excited. Well, with that, John, let's get into today's topic.
All right.
We're talking about how it's interesting because the topic is how to get into wargaming.
Right.
But just as much as how we're going to be talking about how to get into wargaming, we're doing it through talking about how we got into wargaming. So it's a little bit of a background episode as well as a guidance episode for if you've got a friend you're trying to get into the hobby or you're yourself not sure. That's kind of what we wanted to cover in this episode. So with that, John, why don't you tell the audience how you got into wargaming?
Oh, man. Gosh, I was probably either...
I was 5 years old.
I was pretty young. Well, it's not 5 years, but
my daddy
maybe 5th grade.
Went to the Walmart.
Yeah, let me tell you.
Bought a lollipop.
Me and my friend discovered the store South Game HQ. We called it South Game HQ just because shortly after there was a North Game HQ here in Edmond until they closed.
Gotcha.
And
how old were you?
Man, I'm trying to remember. I had to be maybe 6th grade because he moved away when I was in 7th.
Okay. So jeez, this story's got trauma with it. Okay.
No, he just moved away.
Okay.
But I picked up my first army was orcs. Wow. At the time, and I don't even remember what edition of the game was.
That's fucking lame. Wow, so, orcs, dude. Yeah, orcs. What a loser.
And
you're a son of the Emperor. Wow.
And he picked up Ultramarines.
Okay. All right.
So we were playing, and I sucked a lot.
Okay.
I didn't know how to play orcs. I shot a lot of shots and tried to charge up there, and everybody shot me off the board.
Checks out.
And then at some point when he was moving away, I took good care of my models back then. They were all metal and stuff. I didn't really paint them, but he did not take care of his. And he was like, "Hey, you want to trade?" And I was like, "Man, I really suck with orcs, so I guess so." So I ended up with these bits of broken Space Marines where he got all these really nice, pristine orcs. And then he moved away, and I was like, "Well, okay, I got screwed on that deal."
Wow, but there was trauma.
That was my first experience playing wargaming down at South Game HQ, and I didn't get to play it too much because it was such a far location and I couldn't drive. So,
that's fair.
I always had to ask, "Mommy, please take me down."
So wait, so you and your buddy just went in there one day and bought the box?
Yeah, we bought a starter box. We were our parents were freaked out a little bit. The price cost was, of course, pretty high.
Yeah,
but we were spoiled.
Typical.
Yeah, we were people who live in Oklahoma. We were Edmondites, so.
Wow. Jeez, John is throwing down red flag words.
I'm just saying.
Golly.
That's what it was. Our parents were like, "Okay, well, you're making good grades, and we don't know how else to really connect with you. So, yeah, we're just...
Man, spoiled.
So, we're spoiled. Yeah, we were brats.
Well,
so.
My story is very similar.
Okay, good. Spoiled.
Yes. No. So how I got into wargaming, I also started with orcs.
Oh,
yeah. So I'm wondering if you got the same box set I did.
You know what?
Because there was an Orcs versus Ultramarines box set.
It might have been then.
So I wasn't spoiled. I grew up in a little farm town, kind of backwoods Oklahoma. Not super backwoods, but definitely not the city. And my cousin and my dad and all my uncles got into playing this game when they were in high school. Back when it was a lot smaller scale and a lot cheaper. And so I grew up seeing this game played, and I wanted to play so bad. And my cousin also wanted to play really bad. And so for Christmas one year, we both got the Assault on Black Reach 2-player set.
Okay.
And he gave me all the orcs out of his box, and I gave him all the Space Marines out of my box. And we built them, and we played, and we just went to town.
Yeah.
And then that was it. I was locked in, and I was like 10 years old.
Yeah.
So how old are you?
10 or 11, I think. Fifth or I think 6th grade.
That wasn't a question, John.
11.
How old are you?
Oh, how am I now?
How old are you right now?
Oh, shit. Let me do the math, guys.
Oh, shit.
35?
So 7 years apart?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I don't think so, John. That doesn't add up.
I might have been a little older. I don't remember, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't be that old. He was definitely gone before I went to high school, so it had to be when I was in middle school.
Then maybe I was much younger than I think.
Maybe
but
you were.
It's possible. So, anyways, that was actually that was my intro into Warhammer.
Right.
My intro into Wargaming was, so for me, I got exposed to it all by my family. And so I have an uncle that is really big into nerdy stuff, D&D, Wargaming. Well, he's pretty much only plays D&D now, but he played a bunch of Warhammer Fantasy and 40K and BattleTech and D&D. And he got my dad and a lot of my other uncles into that same stuff. And so I actually started playing war games with BattleTech. And what?
I'm just saying you were an unlucky son of.
I was lucky?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sorry. My family's like, they don't know D&D. They didn't even know video games. They're just like, oh, my son plays video games. Sure.
Wow.
There was no connection there. Hell, I barely played anything with my family. We never played games together.
Man.
I think my dad tried to play Halo with me one time in my life.
Oh, I never played video games with my dad.
And that was it. But other than that, like when I got into Wargaming or anything else, nobody else connected. So it was just like you had a family connection. I was the black sheep of the family.
It's interesting because so after 5th edition Warhammer 40,000, my dad pretty much never played again, and I'd gotten into high school at this point, and so we basically survived like a whole edition, and then it just became too much for him to want to keep up with, so he never played anymore. And then I played a ton with my brother-in-law and I.
Sure.
And at the time we were just friends. He wasn't my brother-in-law yet. My sister and him hadn't gotten married, and then like my uncle, and so I played BattleTech for a while when I was like 8 or 9. Then I got into fantasy battles with the Battle of Skull Pass box, and then I got into 40K because nobody wanted to play fantasy battles anymore after 40K came out because it was so much easier to play 40K and it was so much cheaper. 40K used to be a lot cheaper than fantasy battles, and so all of these starter boxes were kind of the gateway for me being able to get into all these different games and try them. And so BattleTech didn't really have a starter. Its starter was actually kind of crappy to me because it was cardboard pop-outs and then like a map and rules and stuff.
Okay.
And they had a metal edition, but it was like really hard to find and expensive. But my dad had a bunch of the mechs and stuff from just playing forever. And so we played that, and then I started playing fantasy battles, and I started playing 40K. And then when I got into basically high school, nobody wanted to play war games anymore. Nope, my dad hadn't played in years. My brother-in-law was busy dating my sister, right. And I kind of had no one to play with. And so I started playing Magic because of band kids. You know, you go to
When you get to high school,
Magic's
huge.
it. Yeah, you can just bring a deck in your backpack.
Was there,
yeah, you just throw a deck in a bag, and
your teacher starts talking. You're like, I don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit. Let's play some cards. Yeah, take it on a band trip, play some cards. You know, and then when I got a car, started driving around all over the place playing Magic. And so what got me back into wargaming from that point was I kind of got sad about not having like ownership of my stuff.
Right.
Like, so I found, but I knew Warhammer was expensive.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like, oh, dude, I want to play with. I don't want to try to get into Warhammer again. That's really expensive. So I found Malifaux. So back in 2nd edition Malifaux, Josh Farmer.
Malifaux.
I know it. Back when Malifaux was good. So my buddy Josh Farmer and I, who's one of our locals, shout out Josh. Josh gets a lot of shout outs. I don't know how. Like,
I mean, you're just
for I don't even know that he listens or subscribed even, or But yeah, shout out.
Josh, if you're out there, please leave a comment to let him know that he is.
I need that closure, Josh. Please let me know that you love me. So anyways, he got me into Malifaux, or well, I met him through Malifaux. And Malifaux was really affordable, really easy to get into. It was very unique, very fun. And then he got me into Infinity, the game by Corvus Belli, which is also very affordable and fun. And I wasn't opposed to Metal Minis at the time because I'd just gotten done playing 40K with pretty much almost half of it was Metal Minis at the time still. And so I was like, okay, cool, not a big deal. So, and then blah, 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 here I am now. COVID happened and I started playing other games, whatever. COVID, I want to mention the COVID time real quick as well because, we're going to expand upon all this and what, analyze this and how this got us into the gaming, like what really actually got us into gaming.
Right.
I started playing Age of Sigmar after COVID because it was the only game people were playing. And so that was a factor, right? I had no intention of ever playing Age of Sigmar.
Right.
It was fun. I'm glad I did it. But it was kind of I want to play games, so I'll play anything. So if we really look at what got us into gaming, what really was it? So for you, it was, I feel like, two things, and tell me if I'm wrong. It was a friend, and a easy to get product.
It was, yeah. It was an easy to get product. I think though, like you were saying, in high school I dropped off, but I don't know what it was. Like 7th edition came out, 8th edition came out.
Had a great box.
And it had a great box, and I just looked at it again and I was like, I haven't played this since I was a kid. And my girlfriend, which is now my wife at the time, I was like, hey, you want to try playing this with me? We were looking for something new.
Strip Hammer.
Strip Hammer.
Oh,
yeah. No, but so we decided to get back into it.
John and I play Strip Hammer.
About Harley Quinns, but that's what finally got me back into Wargaming.
Okay.
That was the starter.
So
of it all.
okay, so again, it was. That's kind of a similar story for both of us. Is that we had a childhood, kind of route, stepped away, and then came back because of something, right?
Yeah.
So I think so somebody else, an external member, a party, so a friend or a lady friend or whatever. Helped you kind of justify trying it out, as well as a eye-catching starter kind of product. I think that's the big takeaway. Mm-hmm. For me. It was the same thing. It was family members that all played, and it was a starter product that was really easy to get a hold of and cheap for what it was. And then if I go back to I guess the only real difference in our story is, so the first one is very similar. A starter product and an external member, external party. But then getting back into it, I really can't remember what made me want to get back into it other than the sense of wanting to have my own artistic freedom. I knew I wanted to play games. It was more of just card games got repetitive. Card games are very streamlined.
Right.
I didn't get to do my own thing. And wargaming, what's something wargaming really only give you is that the artistic freedom, right? But that's not an angle you have as a new person.
No.
That's an angle you have as somebody who's experienced it.
I justified it a little bit differently. So Magic was huge for me in high school, same as you. But then in college, I also played a little bit here and there. But I honestly start thinking about it, and it's if I buy a model, yeah, it's huge. It's the army itself is at a huge cost. But once I have it, it doesn't trade out as fast.
Sure.
In my mind.
Yeah. Even if it doesn't have rules, it's still a cool looking model.
Right, but what are we talking about here? I still own my Ultramarines that I've owned forever, my First Army, my Tyranids. None of those models have really been replaced to the point where I can't play them still. And I bought those back in 2015.
Yeah.
So
I graduated high school then.
So those models are still there. But if I was playing Magic, how many rounds of am I going to go through to play Modern?
Yeah. No, almost none of that stuff's because I remember 2015 Modern really well because I was playing it, and most of that stuff doesn't function.
So when we talk about, a lot of people talk about the cost and stuff, I was like, yeah, I own now 6 or 7 armies, but I don't really have to buy much more for them. Just flavor if I want to, or maybe stay in the meta. But they're not coming out with models fast enough to really
Sure.
stop me from either building another army, or I don't even have to. I could stop now and be like,
Just
I'm
be
happy
cool.
with
I'm
what I
happy.
got.
Yeah, you're not going to get bored.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. Because by the time you get back to playing another army competitively, the meta will have shifted around enough to where that army becomes interesting again.
Right.
So, okay, let's look at that then and go. You know, we both had prior experience, external parties, good product to start with. I think that's kind of the if you are, you know, and then look at the COVID example again too. It was kind of like, well, what's everybody else playing, right?
Right.
Like, you know, this is something that Mike and I at least talk about a lot. I know you and I have talked about this a lot. People are going to play what everyone else is playing.
Right.
I'm just going to use this as an example. I know this isn't how you necessarily feel about it currently, but definitely was at a time. So let's just say Malifaux is undoubtedly the best game in the world.
Okay.
Best rules, best models, best pizza, Papa John's. Like, like let's just say that that's the
man.
case.
I haven't eaten dinner, man.
Oh, whoa, dude! It's 10:30, man. To be fair, I didn't eat dinner either.
I'm gonna have to get Taco Bell later. You know,
Bing.
my wife was running late, so
my wife
leave as soon as I want to get here.
That's
so
fair.
I skipped dinner.
That's fair. I didn't eat either, but that's all right.
We're gonna pause here, guys,
Yeah.
and go get some Taco Bell.
I was too busy macking on them honeys. So somehow doesn't even say anything, just leaves and like pauses, leaves, comes back, continues the same. Yeah. Anyways, oh my gosh. So sorry. We need Mike here to corral us. Yeah.
He would tell us to go.
He'd be like, I'll talk for 30 minutes. So anyways, so shout out to Mike. We miss you, man. I mean, I guess he didn't die.
If Mike was right here, we wouldn't be able to go because we'd all be drinking right now.
Oh, that's true. We'd be under the table. He'd be fine, but so okay. Anyways, so Malifaux. Let's just say Malifaux is the best game ever.
Sure.
I don't think it is, but let's just say it is, as an example.
Sure.
No one would still play it,
right?
Because right now, like at least in Oklahoma, right, there's maybe a dozen people in the entire state,
right,
playing. I have a dozen people just at Unplugged playing 40K.
Right. No. Yeah.
Like every week.
Right.
Like those dozen people,
that's
right?
Crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Those dozen people playing Malifaux, maybe play. Two of them might play every week.
Right.
That's not enough. So it doesn't matter how good your game is; it's how popular it is that matters more, honestly, right? So, so ways to get into wargaming, you know, I really feel like a lot of that comes down to I think there's two ways to tackle this topic, and it's: are you trying to get into wargaming, or are you trying to get someone into wargaming?
Sure.
So, John, I want you to answer both of those. How would you help somebody get their friend into wargaming, and how would you help somebody who doesn't have a friend maybe get into wargaming?
How to help somebody get into wargaming who has or have a friend get into wargaming?
Yep.
Honestly, I would say your best way is to look at either a combat patrol or, well, it kind of depends on your friend's situation for multiple things. You'd have to think of what your friend's job is and stuff like that. What's their finances? How much would they want to put it on into?
That could determine the game.
Yeah, that could determine the game that you get into.
Yeah.
So when you're trying to get a friend into wargaming itself,
you got to be willing to compromise.
Right.
Yeah, you might want them to play 40K.
Well,
that might be too much to bite off. Right. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. That's a really good point.
So that's the first thing I would think about. And then after that, I would try to ensure that I owned at least 2 armies.
Yep. Okay.
Because I'm going to play them.
Yep.
But it's also like, hey, and I've actually done this with friends and stuff, and I'm like, hey, come over. Judgment was a good one.
Yeah.
I had 4 friends come over, and we all played Judgment using my Judgment stuff.
That's cool.
And I was like, did you guys like it? What did you not like about it? Would you guys ever consider about getting into it with us over at the shop and stuff?
Okay, so what stopped them from wanting to do that?
One of them just wasn't a huge layout of like the MOBA style it was.
Okay, so just not that kind of game.
Yeah, he's looking into 40K now.
Okay.
So I'm trying to sell him on that a little bit. I'm trying to get him to come over and play, but it's just hard to find.
Try Kill Team.
I've also tried to tell him to Kill Team, but he doesn't want to play small miniature.
Oh, okay. He wants to play big army game. Okay, gotcha.
He says he likes that aspect of it more. Cool. And he's watched like Play on Titans or
Play on Tabletop and Tabletop Titans. Yeah.
Titans, yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. All right. Okay. So you mentioned a product there. So I want to expound upon more of the question than just like a product. So the product's the easiest part. You're right about though, like a starter product. Best way to get your friend into the game or for you to get in the game in a literal sense is definitely a starter box for a game that you can afford and think you'll enjoy.
Right.
Combat Patrol, action packs for Infinity, command boxes, battle group boxes for War Machine.
Yeah. But what are they called? Battle host boxes for MESBG.
Battle host boxes, spearheads for AOS or Vanguard, whatever you want to call it. I think it's spearhead, yeah.
And then I'm going to caveat on this a little bit more. I would also think, what's the time of the year too to like try to sell them on this?
Okay.
Honestly, if I want somebody to play 40K and they weren't really like hyped into it right now or thinking about, I would try to wait more till Christmas time because that's when the big nice
all the releases come out.
Well, you get the Christmas boxes, and that's your best bang for the buck normally for the Christmas time.
Yeah, you could all in them.
Yeah, I could try to all in them then.
Okay, yeah. That's fair. And so there's a lot of product. Product's a great one, but product's the easiest thing to find, right? Like anybody can really Google product. Right. So you mentioned something else there, like you having stuff for them to use as well, making it free. Hey, it's free to play, man. Come try it out. Right, that's fair too. What would you do to like get somebody to? How do we create a new wargamer that's not a product, right? Like you can sell anybody a box of Space Marines. How are you getting them to wanting to buy a box of Space Marines?
I'm hoping like we would just do. I mean, demos are probably the most effective way in my mind.
So mutual friend, try to demo for them.
Right.
Okay.
Try demo. Don't worry about the product stuff. Just come demo. Use that demo to say, maybe don't think about just demoing you one-on-one unless you're shy or something, but come over to the store and demo or local gaming community.
Okay.
Meet the people that are there.
Yeah.
That's really what you really want from the wargaming is that you can't get anywhere else. It's just meeting people and people.
The community.
That whole community aspect.
Yep. I think that's a big key for sure. Like, I'm glad you brought that up because getting somebody to the store, especially if it's a good night, you've got a ton of people there, that blows people away when they see all those people there playing it. I think every time I've had somebody come and check out a game and they've been at the store to check it out, I've never had somebody not be like, oh my gosh, look at all this stuff. Like it's just kind of jarring, right? Like, whoa, look at all these minis and all this terrain and all this stuff happening.
Yeah, I mean,
all these people
worried that they won't find a community or something. You just bring them to like one of the GT tournaments and be like, hey. When you're not already participating in, of course, and be like, look at these, there's 30-something people here, or something like that.
And I think that's like, so if you've got a friend that you're trying to get into wargaming, this all really goes well for that scenario. If you yourself are trying to get into wargaming, how that looks is researching game stores, calling them up, messaging their Facebook page, whatever it is that they have to communicate with, and asking them, hey, do you have this game there?
Right.
Oh, you do. You do sell this game. Cool. Do you have people that play? When do they play? Right? Like, unfortunately, if you don't have friends that already play these games, you gotta have to go make those friends.
Right. I mean, that's what I had to do.
Right.
I came to the store.
And unfortunately, you met Dave. And
unfortunately, I met Dave. Shout out to you, Dave.
Shout out, Dave.
But yeah. I didn't know anybody. I'm pretty sure you're one of the first people I did meet, and you were like, hey, go play this guy. And I was like, yeah, okay. That guy tabled me turn 2.
Man,
and I was like, this is a great first experience.
I don't even remember this either. That's what's crazy. I don't ever remember actually meeting you. That's what's so mind-blowing.
I think I took like a week or a month off after that because I was like, I don't know if I want to do this.
That's probably why I don't remember you.
And then I was like, you know what? I'm okay with the abuse. Let's keep doing it.
There you go. And then, but for Legion, it was not okay. Legion,
you hurt me.
Hey,
Legion hurt.
you didn't deploy like a 30-year army. That's not on me. And like, you remember that? You remember that?
Yeah.
But we played another game after that, and I did hurt you more, didn't I?
Yeah.
With real rules.
Real rules.
Yeah.
That's why.
Real bullshit rules.
They changed the rules to make it so much better and more fair for everybody.
So, and now that's one of those instances where if the only community you have around you is Star Wars Legion, then hey man, go play that game.
Or if you love Star Wars.
Or if you just love Star Wars, yeah that's fair.
The IP usually can do.
The IP does a lot. And that's why I'm actually really glad with, slight rabbit trail here, but Warhammer is really building its IP up for people that, like, it's trying to create new customers, right? Yeah. Space Marine 2, right? So many more people bought into Warhammer, the miniatures game, after Space Marine 2. It was mind-blowing. Well, and Kill Team is one of their best games now. And I think a lot of that came from Space Marine 2. Right,
I agree with you. Yeah, Space Marine 2. Space Marine was such a long time game, or so long ago that people don't really remember it.
Right.
So they had to not only come out with a game, they had to come out with a game that was A tier.
A tier.
And Space Marine 2 was A tier. They put love into that. The studio did good job. For who you guys got. That game was amazing.
Yeah, it was really good. No, for sure.
Yeah, you guys needed to have somebody else besides Superman promote the game,
Well, that's fair. And then on top of that, like, that actually is how you could get a friend into wargaming, is like finding a video game that is similar to a war game that they might like Total War. Cool. They like RTS games. Try Total War Warhammer out and be like, hey man, those same guys or similar guys are in Age of Sigmar. Or, oh man, you like Total War Warhammer? Try Dawn of War. Oh, you liked Dawn of War? Play 40K with me. It's the same game. I mean, it's not 100% the same game, but it's very close. Like, I've always looked at miniature war games as RTS that are at the end.
Yeah.
Where you've got everything built and you're now fighting. Like, you've done all the building and the farming and stuff, and now you're actually fighting the big battle. You've just done all the RTS stuff before you showed up.
Yeah.
So anyways, okay. So really it's if you've got a friend, find a common ground for them as far as like price point and what they're interested in. Try to have stuff for them to use so they don't have to have any cost up front. If you're by yourself, for both of those, if you're solo or you have a friend, showing them the community / finding the community is probably the biggest one.
I will say for a friend too, I had to do this for my friend stuff. I didn't have stuff painted, and 100%. And I really think that was also a big problem for me.
Yeah.
If you're getting into this, or you want a friend to get into this,
slap chop that shit.
Yeah, slap chop it, whatever. Make it look nice. Don't leave it gray. Don't leave it black. Black still looks good, but don't leave it black.
Yeah.
Give them that full immersion to really draw them in. And that's what I'm saying. Go to the store. Your terrain maybe at home is the laser cutout stuff, but maybe the store has something more thematic.
Yeah.
Don't worry about playing competitive rules. Make it look as cool as you can.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right, 100%. And then they can also happen to see the community while they're there. If you're solo trying to get into the game, call some stores up, because even if you wanted to play at home, you're not going to have anyone to play with. So you got to go find a community. Okay, so I think those are all really valuable things. This is kind of a more pointed version of that. What are ways to encourage people to try wargaming, or to let them know it exists? Like, have you ever had a friend that's like, whoa, what is this?
Right. Yeah.
And then what did you do to show them, or what did you tell them after they asked?
I would just show off pictures of my miniatures and stuff like that after they ask and everything. Talk about how it's kind of played and what it does. So things like that seems to be how I would do it in there. I would say I would start thinking of like certain events and probably be talking to, if I knew somebody who wanted to get into it or something. And I love for the store to do this too, but a buy-in of like a hobby night where we supply a model and paints and stuff and be like, try to do a hobby night with them,
Well, I think that is something that is actually, like, I know there's some branding being developed for stuff like that, but do like a wine and paint night.
Yeah,
but for a beer and brush, night, whatever. Beer and brush night.
Trademarked right now.
Trademarked right now. Unplugged International LCC, LLC. But no, I mean, and I think that's like, yeah, a beer and a brush night would be cool. Like, because you'd be like, hey, here's a Space Marine.
Right.
Pay us $10. You get a beer and you get the model and all the paint you want to use.
Because I will say for my friend, one of my friends was like, I would love building them, but painting them seems something I could never do. My wife doesn't even think she could paint the models either. And I'm like, listen, you sit down, I show you some techniques and stuff that I've learned,
you should get after
slap chop or whatever, and it's going to be a lot easier. And they have like speed paints now. And it's like, hey, you don't think that you have time or you don't want to deal with all that? Speed paints can do this quickly for you, and they look great. Get them on the field, and you'll be playing this beautiful game.
Yep. You know? No, I agree, and I think contrast paint, speed paint, quick paint, express paint, all that paint that everybody company's got now has really changed the game for entry level, because that's a big fear for sure. Is honestly the cost isn't as big of a turnoff as I feel like the hobby part is for people. That's why typically a lot of times skirmish games are more approachable. Kill Team's a lot more approachable for people than 40K because of cost and time on the hobby, right? Yeah. Like, okay, you know what? These look really cool. I could try to paint 10 guys. Sure. Okay, let's try it. You know, whole 40K army.
Yeah,
I don't even want to do that half the time. Like, I'm an experienced wargamer. So, you mentioned showing people your art and stuff. For me, I think that's kind of the other half of it too. You know, we mentioned the video games. Like, you've got friends, like one of our mutual friends, Mitchum. He's a war gamer, but he's never. I specifically was trying to get him into Warhammer 40K, and he loves Space Marine 2, and he loves the books. Get your nerdy friends that love to read. One of my buddies that plays Magic, Dan, he's been listening to the entire Horus Heresy series.
I was gonna say, get him in the Horus Heresy.
Find a book for Infinity has mangas and graphic novels.
Yeah.
40K and Age of Sigmar both have actual full-on novels. Plenty of these game companies have literature. Mantic has tons of literature for Kings of War and their setting. Halo obviously is a video game, but now it's a miniatures game. There's a gateway there too. Any of these games that have either any of these miniature games that have another form of medium to connect with them, use that. Books, video games, movies / TV shows, any of that stuff.
Oh, I didn't even think about the TV show for the 40K.
Right. Yeah. There's the Secret Level. There's all the Warhammer TV stuff.
Get into MESBGs. Just be like, if you haven't seen it for some reason, you haven't seen Lord of the Rings.
Watch Lord of the Rings, The
whole trilogy.
First of all, that's not a friend you want to have. Just calling it there. But no, anyways, so I feel like that's a great way to do it. And then the last one I would say on letting people know about it and encouraging them is the medium part's more of an encouragement. Like, hey, you really will like this setting. That's an encouragement for them to taste it.
Right.
But to let people know about it, you mentioned showing them your art and stuff, not being ashamed to share it. Like, I'll post stuff on my Facebook about tournaments I go to, or about awards I've gotten in painting, or projects I'm doing, or I'll share this podcast on, like, and I talk like a sailor on here, and like, you know, I've got Facebook friends and family that are more than welcome to know that I spend an hour plus every other week cussing and talking about plastic toys.
That's right.
So don't be afraid to share it. So if you're interested in it, dude, if you've got a friend circle that you have somewhere else, tell them, hey guys, I'm trying this hobby out.
Right.
You never know. You might have a friend jump in with you.
I will say one of the curious things I have is, like, I'm surprised more people, because I was huge in D&D before I got back into wargaming, and I painted miniatures back then.
Yep.
I'm just surprised to have much here locally, at least. There's not a crossover. Like, our D&D community is huge, and I don't see as many of those people playing wargaming.
I can't think of a single one.
And I think that's crazy. Like, it's rolling dice. It's painting, whether it's you're playing a big army or a small skirmish.
Yeah.
It's painting.
There's minis.
Yeah, there's hobbying. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Kit bashing, all this other stuff. Man, I've seen some awesome minis. I gotta say, what was it? I saw a picture of somebody who did like a Whataburger theme of their Star Wars one time, and I was
Oh yeah, I remember. Yes, I took
this
photos
is
of that. I've seen
hilarious.
that in person. It's pretty funny. There's these two brothers, the Phelps brothers, that live in um Texas. That they both, I think both of them, at least one of them for sure, has a Dark Angels army that's painted brown, red, and yellow uh, after the Shiner beer.
Oh my goodness!
And all their like Blade Guard have Shiner bottle caps for their shields. The banner is a Shiner logo with the Shiner banner across.
Hopefully.
The drop pod has Shiner beer caps on the doors.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Hopefully, he gets some kind of like. He's like, Shiner, come on, I need
sponsor. Yeah, dude, he wears a belt with just Shiner beers the whole time, the whole event. Oh, it's so great. Love it. Oh man,
let's go to a narrative.
Yeah, no, that's where I met him. That's yeah. I was on there. I met them the first Grand Narrative. My buddy Justin was on their team. It's Sam and Eric, I'm pretty sure. And then I was in their battle group this last year, and it is so freaking crazy because you'll just be like, "Beer me," and dude will throw you a freaking beer, man. Just and dude, you're not sober if you don't want to be.
It's the Batman utility belt right there. Bam, bam.
The only utility you need, Shiner.
Nice.
But anyways, I'm so ready for the Grand Narrative. Oh, I want to go to the Grand Narrative so bad. All right. Anyways, so
back on topic. Sorry.
That's actually looking at, let's say, okay, that's actually a really good way to meet people too. Is if you end up going to if you're by yourself and you want to get into one of these games, there are a lot of big events out there that I would consider newbie friendly.
Oh yeah.
The Grand Narrative, great event. If you've never been to a tournament before, it's not really a tournament. It's just a bunch of games you're going to go play. Show up, play, and have a great time. And what's going to happen is you're going to get put into a group of people that if everybody's coordinating and having, fun, right, you get put in a big Discord with everybody in your alliance. So Imperium, Chaos, or Xenos. You get put in a Discord with them, and then you get put in a battle group of 10 people, and they're basically your buddies for the weekend.
Yeah, and I mean,
and it's fun. It's super fun. And I kind of would, I would really recommend doing that because you know what? Those guys that you're going to be in a battle group with, none of them may be where you're from at all, but maybe they know somebody. Or maybe you get put in that Discord and you go, hey, guys, I'm on my way home from the Grand Narrative. Is anybody living in Oklahoma?
Right.
Oh, yeah, I'm from Oklahoma. Oh, what part of Oklahoma? I'm in Oklahoma City. Oh, well, I'm in Norman. Is there anybody that plays in Norman? Oh, no one, but I don't mind coming down to Norman and playing. Like, you never know, right?
Right. No, you're right.
More than likely, there'll be somebody. If they aren't from where you're at, they probably know somebody from where you're at and can get you in touch with a group.
It's fair.
So,
I would say one more thing to consider. Last thing to maybe consider on top of my mind is,
encouraging people.
On encouraging people. If you're trying to get somebody into it, you're like, okay, casual play is fun and it's beer and pretzels, but people like to do competitive play. At least I do here and there. I think team battles are a good way to try to introduce them to the wargaming aspect, being like, hey, you should go look at these team battle things. I know I'm not probably conveying this as well as I'm trying to, but
like 2v2s?
Not just 2v2
or team tournaments.
Team tournaments.
Okay.
Because to me, that's
like 5-man teams versus.
If you're trying to get your friend into it, or you're just trying to get somebody new into it, be like, hey, you won't be alone when we go in this. We'll all go in this together.
Yeah,
we'll all help each other.
That'd be really cool too. Yeah,
building that relation is something that could really help somebody who wants to get it. Because honestly, I think more wargaming is not about. To me, it's not about painting. It's not about the hobbying. It's not even about the money. It's just people scared to get into it because they're afraid of they're not going to be any good and stuff like that, and they're not going to be accepted.
I only get into anything because I'm going to win at it. So
yeah, if you don't win,
I quit playing, dude. Yeah, so
yeah, makes sense why you quit playing Malifaux. Gotcha.
I bet I could beat your ass in Malifaux, even right now.
Oh yeah,
I think I could.
I have models. What about you?
You have to teach. I have my models.
Oh, you have your.
I've got my entire. Whoa, dang, dude! I've got an entire Molly crew fully painted. I've got an entire Sonya Crid crew painted. I've got Hoffman and what's the chick you like? Cordelia? The one you play? Colette. I have all their keywords fully fleshed out and the versatiles.
Oh, holy crap.
Yeah.
Where the hell are you keeping all that?
I've showed them to you. They're in my case.
That's true.
Yeah. So you're going to have to teach me how to play again. But
I'm going to learn how to play 4th edition that just came out.
Gosh.
I've watched
So here's the quick one for you guys. If you want to get into gaming or you want to get a friend into gaming, don't let them play Malifaux. So, because they'll hate their lives. They won't ever want to play another war game again.
It's a small skirmish game. It's really going to come down to finding the right setting you like, fantasy versus sci-fi versus anything else.
Fair.
After that, it's going to come down to skirmish versus big army.
Yep.
And
I mean, you could swap either of those.
You could swap either.
So, because some of those have more options than others.
Yeah.
So it depends on what they prioritize first, right?
Right.
So, and then what was the next one?
Crap, I forgot. Guys, it's 11. I'm like blinking now.
We're not even an hour into the episode.
I know, but I'm still blinking. Give me a second. I had it all, and then we said something.
Yeah, it's your fault.
Damn,
I'm blaming you.
It is my fault. I did forget.
It's your brain. What's
Damn
that?
you.
Han Solo and Chewbacca.
Yeah, that's right. Going to Disney.
Going to Disneyland. All right. Well, I think that's about everything I would say to like encourage people and to let people know about it. Just got to be vocal. So, the last point we have is, what do we wish we would have had around to help us start wargaming in the beginning? This might be a better one to look at for whenever, when we were kids getting into it. Yeah, there's not really a lot. Like, the internet, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean?
Wait, what was the internet back then?
What was the internet?
Crap.
Yeah, so maybe this question's better asked. I mean, although, well, one thing I will say that I wish I would have had that was better when I was a kid was an app and a list builder.
Right.
Because I remember buying a CD-ROM that's a company made. A company would make basically a CD application you could install on your computer of 40K list builders.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
I didn't even have that.
Wait, New World Games and Comics, another cool store. Shout out Tom. I remember my dad and I. He had one for every, like, it was like basically like broke it down by like sci-fi, fantasy, and I think steampunk games. And 40K was one of them. You could buy this box for like $60. It was like buying a video game, and you put it in your computer and installed an application. And then it would do updates like every 6 months.
Interesting.
And those updates would be, whatever rules changed. And I say every 6 months. It was probably every like 2 years back then, because back in the day.
That go by a day.
Yeah, codexes. I mean, I remember having like the same Orc codex for like 3 editions of the game. They didn't change codexes every edition.
Right.
So, but yeah, and I remember having that. Dude, it was crazy. I remember loving that, not having to write list down on paper.
That's all
I was like,
doing.
oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. And then now I'm like, oh, I gotta be on my computer to make a list. I would never do that. I want to be on my phone. So anyway, sorry. So John, skipping like the stuff from when you were like a kiddo, because that's just kind of, there's not really a lot you needed more, right, to get in the game back then. You were just a kid. And same here. What is something that whenever you were returning to the game and that like 8th edition timeline, what was something that you wish would have been around to help you get back into it? What would have made it easier?
I mean, what would have made it easier? So, like, the 2-player starter box and stuff, I think we bought one too. It wasn't just the Tyranids and the Harley Quinns. It came with a booklet, which had stats and everything, but they're old. We didn't want to play with the old rules, There's nothing packaged with new rules or anything, or there wasn't even the code system back then because there was no app or anything. Mm-hmm. So we had to buy that and the codex. It didn't come with dice. We had to buy dice. The starter box was not really the starter box. We weren't able to just take it from the box and go. Now, the plastics were still, you had to clip them out and everything, but there were no clippers. Sure. This is like, if you want a true starter box, like, hey, it's your first time or at least somebody who told you what you needed. Like we had to go get clippers, because I don't remember any of this from when I was a kid.
Sure.
So you got that. You didn't have to have glue because those just like
push fit
together, which is pretty nice whenever you were starting again.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I think something you mentioned there that I don't think it's realistic to have all that stuff in the box, but at least something telling you, hey, clearly this is everything you need to get.
I think you could have put a 2-player box next to it, and then maybe the store or something, or on the back of the box, it could be like items needed also, and maybe something called an essential kit, which comes with one of their plastic glue things,
couple minis,
something to get you able to start doing what you need to.
Gotcha. Okay.
You didn't have to have paint and everything, but just be like, hey, this is so you can at least clip it out and push fit them together so you can start doing something.
And that makes sense. I mean, to me, I feel like, you were saying that got me thinking. I actually saw John, one of our different John.
Is this Orc player, John?
No, he's an Infinity player, and he's actually from Texas, but he's not able to make it up as much anymore. But his kiddo was coming up here for gymnastics training or something. I can't remember what it was. I apologize if I am totally wrong about what that is, but they were coming up here for, I believe that, and so he would come up and play every Sunday while his son was doing gymnastics. And so we got to meet him, and he'd been coming around for like 6 months. And then now they're finally done with doing gymnastics training, and I think it was cheer, whatever it was. Which, I mean, that's almost the same thing.
Yeah.
No offense for the gymnastics and cheer people that are like,
the
they're not the same thing at all.
How dare you.
My bad. Hey, there's that one movie with the girl that's like, y'all don't have gymnastics, so I'm doing cheer, and she hates everybody.
Oh yeah, is that called Bring It On?
Is that Bring It On?
I think that's Bring It On.
Anyways, so his son is in cheer, and they were coming up here for that, and now his son's done, and done at UCO anyways. I don't know done cheering or not, but and now they're not coming back up as much. But all of that, all of that to say, he actually has a really cool idea that and Unplugged kind of has a version of this too, where he puts a sign up in the stores that he frequents saying like guaranteed game Thursday next to the Infinity product.
Oh, really?
Where he basically says, hey, here's my contact info, or here's how the store can get a hold of me. I'll be here every Thursday at 7:00.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And he'll be there for like an hour. And if somebody comes in and they want to get a game in, they don't need anything. They just come in, they can talk to him, they can play a game, they can do a demo. Guaranteed game Thursday. I think it's Thursdays. I might be butchering it, but you get the idea. And we've kind of got a similar thing with that. We don't have a thing exactly like that, but like the store has a Discord. And we have the Discord link posted around the whole shop. And I know from working there now, me and the other employees there, like we mention it every chance we can to new people who are trying to, learning how to paint, learning how to get into like magic, whatever it is. Hey, jump in the Discord, ask questions there, be involved. Right. So I mean, if you got a game store around you and you're wanting to get into community, see if they've got a Discord.
Yeah, the Discord's the best. I mean, the Discord or
the Facebook page.
The Facebook page is nice. He also has his own website page, which I think he puts all the events in.
Yeah, he tries to keep that calendar up to date. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but you can't talk there.
Oh, that's true. You can't talk there.
But yeah, so I mean, he has that guaranteed game Thursdays thing. Imagine if I would love that. If I was a new person,
I come up on Wednesdays too.
No,
I come up on Wednesdays
no, not the guaranteed game part.
Oh, you don't like the guaranteed?
No, that's on you. No, I think that is cool that he does that, but it's more like guaranteed demo Thursday.
Gotcha.
Because I don't think he might play a game with somebody else, but I think he would rather be doing demos. He's trying to grow the community.
Right.
And so I think it's really cool though that there's basically, you walk in the store, you're coming to buy this game. So let's just use an example, right? Okay, we bought this two-player starter. Man, I don't know what any of this is or what I need to be doing or whatever. Oh, what's this sign right next to it that says Drew will be here every Wednesday, for at least 7 to 8, and you can get a demo in or you can ask questions or whatever. I think that is so cool. And I think it'd be really, really cool for stores to start having either, I mean, at least a Discord to say, hey, oh, if you don't know how to do this, jump on the Discord.
Right.
People will help you. Or, hey, you don't know how to do this? There's a guy here every week that does this stuff. Having signs like that, or signs of the Discord or something, I think that is so awesome. Because as a new person, if you literally don't know what you're doing at all and you have no one to help you,
right,
you're just stuck trying to Google stuff.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get overwhelmed.
You're going to be overwhelmed. Everything's an opinion.
Right.
None of it. How do I glue a model together? Well, let me tell you how I used an asparagus microwaved with a spoon and
cement glue.
Yeah, right. Cement glue. Whoa.
Cement.
Oh, I was like, dude. Oh my gosh, John. Is that why there's a yellow crisp to your Those aren't ultramarines. Those are imperial fish.
Something else.
It's that or grandma's cigarettes.
Oh
so
my goodness.
Nicotine dry. Sponsored.
No.
So
there's a lot of opinions on this is the paint you should use, or this is the glue you should use, or hey, this is not the technique you should use. You should use slap chop, or don't use slap chop. Use airbrush, or it just becomes a lot.
I mean, and that's just a fair warning for any of you guys that are thinking about getting into the game or getting a friend into the game. Let them know, or tell yourself that like it can be overwhelming, but a lot of it's just noise.
Yeah,
it's not. You don't have to listen to any of that stuff.
Yeah, this guy was. I don't remember. He's popular, and I'm sure he's won awards and stuff. He's like, I don't use any washes on my models.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people say, yeah, don't use washes. But in my opinion, maybe
you might be quoting me.
You don't use washes at all in your model.
Most of the time, I don't. It depends on what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, if I want it vibrant, I won't. But if I
well, I mean, it depends on like the quality of the model. Yeah. Right, like it's just another tool, right?
It is a tool.
I don't wash every model.
No, I don't wash every model.
But some people do. Some people wash every single model in no oil, like it's law.
I just dip it.
Yeah. You just dunk that like a coffee.
I do wash a lot.
You have a whole coffee cup of non oil, and you just.
I have a lot of
like a donut at the police station. That'd be kind of cool to have like a container of non oil that big. That'd be kind of awesome.
Watch Eons of Battle. I'm pretty sure he's got a nice big container.
Yeah, I think he does. Yeah,
contrast paints and washes.
Mm-hmm. That's just all gumbled up together.
But he makes it look good. I don't know. Sorry.
Oh wait, what? Yeah, that's tainted.
Tangent.
Oh, I was like, why is it tainted?
No,
we're on a rant night. This is it. This is our rant night, John. Oh, yeah. We got it. We're both ranting now. Rant and Raven segment intro.
I don't know.
Well, I think that's pretty much. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think that would be a big thing for when I was starting, is like having that community connection made known.
Right.
Would have been huge, because I don't even remember how I got into Malifaux. I think I literally had to be like a match. So I'm a super extrovert. I think I literally went up to the guys that were playing one day and was like, "Hey guys, I'm really wanting to check out this game." Man, that's intimidating for a lot of people. A lot of people don't.
I don't know if I would even do that.
I'm pretty sure that's what I did. Where I was like, "Hey guys, I keep saying you're playing this. I played Warhammer back in the day. I want to try this out, and we'll get back into mini games." And I was like 16, so 16 or 17. And I mean, I just talked to anybody though. But for a lot of people, especially in this hobby, they're not extroverts like that.
No, they're introverts.
They're not direct people, and so having a contact that they can talk to from the safety of their phone or their computer to schedule a nice little quiet gathering is way more preferred. So, and maybe I'm not available to go up there right away, but I still am struggling with trying to figure something out. I'd love to have that digital contact available as well. So, anyhow's it. John, is there anything else that you can think of that you wish you would have had at the beginning to help you get into the game better?
Just a friend.
I mean, realistically, I think that is legitimately the overall theme of this.
Yeah.
Is the best way to get into wargaming is to find a community.
Right. No, 100%.
Like, even if it's just garage gamers.
Right.
You got to have somebody to play with.
A lot of people, I'm not going to say a lot, but a lot of people in this day and age, of course, have now gone to more video games and stuff and visual effects and all that. I still play video games and stuff here and there, but...
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, not as much as I used to. But I do enjoy, if I can have a choice, I'm always like wanting to meet people and talk to them face to face.
I want the social aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It helps me meet new friends to have, grow, get invited to certain things. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't have ever gone to probably a Grand Narrative until you were like, "Hey, you need to try this thing."
True. That's fair. No, I mean, like, that's, I mean, I'm pretty great.
And now you got, what,
So,
8 of us going?
Dude, there's 8 of us going. We need to get 2 more, man. We need to get a full 10.
Full
I don't
10.
want no random schmucks on our team. We gotta get a full 10.
No.
I've got some guys that are looking at it. I'm gonna get us 2 more.
2 more.
We're gonna lock in on 10. It's gonna be great.
Fine.
So, oh man, hell yeah, cheap.
You won't like me, man.
What? I snore like a motherfucker.
So do I.
Well, just I'll try to go to bed before you.
My wife makes me wear one of those nose things every night.
Oh hell yeah! We'll just bring some of those. I can bring my. I'll bring my.
Was that mouth guard?
Mouth guard. Yeah,
Nice.
which apparently helps, but I don't know. So, anyways, let's wrap this up before we get on another tangent. Go to the grand narrative is another theme of this episode.
Yeah. I mean, go to the grand narrative. Don't be scared to. Don't get intimidated. Intimidation's a big thing. Don't get intimidated by how other people paint. Like, I think the first time I saw Sisters, this guy did a beautiful marble custom basing of them and everything. They looked amazing. Yeah. And I was like, I just started to try to get into Sisters, and I was like, man, I don't think I could ever do this. And I almost wanted to throw them away, but then I was like, no.
You still haven't done it.
I haven't finished painting them, but I've painted a lot of them.
And you still haven't done it.
I know.
Oh.
Switched over to
Ultramarines.
Ultramarine.
Which is kind of mind-blowing, by the way, how you were like sisters, and then like I haven't seen you play Sisters in like 8 months.
Well, they're not really good right now.
Well, that's true. They do kind of suck.
I did play them recently and just got stopped. That was before the Miracle Dice change.
Oh, you tried to play like a Crusade game, didn't you? Something like that?
No, I think I played against Raymond and his Tau.
Oh yeah, he's really good too.
And I did not do well because they just wasn't my play style anymore. As much as I like. But I am bought new models for them and I have switched my tactic, but yeah.
Fair.
Well,
so yeah.
Well, before we end,
it's
not even on the schedule.
What now?
Well, I mean, we got the outro question, but
before
we get there, you know, let's talk about some of the cool. I mean, we talked about it on the table what we're painting and stuff, but what are some of the cool things that are, in my opinion, coming up? You know, we were talking about the grand narrative.
Okay.
I would love to show off if nobody minds, like the team jersey that we're about to get in.
Oh, I have no clue what it looks like.
Oh, well, we're gonna show it off.
I mean, how are we showing it off?
Well, not this episode.
Oh, coming up.
Yeah, things coming up.
I was like, how are we gonna? We don't have it.
Before we recorded this, we could talk about how we recorded a update for the battle reports, and we are getting closer for that. For those of you who aren't looking at that video and only watching this one or listening to this one,
go watch those.
Go watch those first of all. Like and comment
and subscribe.
But things are coming along great for that too.
Feel No Pain's coming along really well.
Yeah.
Events I'm excited for. We've got our team. The Scions of Dalar is our team. A lot of people have asked what that is. That's just a name we made up that we thought sounded cool. And I'm actually trying to make some headcanon for it, some Space Marine headcanon. So if any of us want to play Space Marines, I am. If any of the team members are listening to this, please don't rip this idea off because I would like to do it first. I'm going to actually paint a Space Marine army in the color scheme of the team.
That'd be awesome.
And be like, these are the Scions of Dalar. This is what they would look like, and make it like come up with like an actual sort of lore, like if it was a chapter of Space Marines, which would be pretty sweet.
That would be sweet.
That's going to be my Space Marine army project. We'll see. I mean, that's on a pile of other projects, but I've only got like I've got a lot to work on. But anyways, events though that are coming up that are really notable and cool. This is another one for any of you guys trying to get into gaming. Frontline Gaming does a ton of really cool events all year round, all over the country. We've got our team, the Scions of Dalar, where we're trying to do, everybody is trying to make it to a tournament every quarter. We skipped the first quarter of the year because the team was kind of just being built.
Yeah.
The second quarter, we've got this Oklahoma Wargaming Network own event happening next weekend. We've got the Dallas Open by GW the weekend after that. I'm going to the Route 66 Rumble in Tulsa the weekend after that. So quarter 2 is well covered. Feel no pain. I think anybody who's not making it to any of the other events on the team are going to feel no pain. Yeah. So quarter 2 is well covered. Quarter 3, Frontline Gaming has the Dallas Open in August. I don't think there's real. I mean, I know there's stuff happening in July.
There's a teams match in September. I don't remember where. But
see, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Okay.
So there's some team match.
So September is
going on for there. I think that's it. I didn't really look out further than that.
Yeah. So there's I know we've got the Dallas Lone. What's up?
Flying Monkey. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say Flying Monkey. So we've got really in August. It's LSO Lone Star Open by Frontline Gaming. But then there's also Flying Monkey Con in September 13 and 14, which I actually would like to go to that. And so I'm going to try and see if we can rally the team around going. It's the biggest convention for our conference. So the Lord Marshall Conference is the circuit for there's the ITC, which is the international something whatever, basically the overall Warhammer scores that LVO does and stuff like that. But a lot of regions in the States have sub-circuits that they kind of have for hey, ITC is way too big. We're never going to win. I'm not going to be best in the world. But who's the best in the region? Right. And so Lord Marshall Conference is Oklahoma all the way up to I think Montana, maybe Nebraska, something like that. It's a lot of basically the Midwest.
Okay.
And then we also have the OWN has their own, which is Eye of Terror conference or series or whatever. They're having their own. But anyways, LMC, the Lord Marshall Conference, their in-cap event is Flying Monkey. That's the last event to earn points, and they also announce the winner of the Lord Marshall Conference every year at the person who had the best score, the number one, and the number one for each faction. Number one overall, and then best team. And so it'd be really cool. I haven't been to a Flying Monkey Con in a few years. Actually, I've never been for 40K. It's apparently phenomenal for 40K. But I've only gone for Kings of War and Age of Sigmar. Mm-hmm. And so it'd actually be really cool to get the team to go up and participate in that. I'm going to try to start rallying some people for that to be hey, that could be your Q3 event. And then in quarter 4, while it's not a tournament, I'm going to go ahead and count it for everybody because it's 8 of the team members are going. We're going to count the grand narrative. So as our event for the team, I'm not trying to police people's fun. Right, you know what I mean? Right. So yeah, that's really it. That's all the major events coming up, that I've got my eye on. I'm sure there's going to be some more that pop up. And I know there's stuff to do in July. I didn't mention anything in July, but there's always 40K events to do in July. I really want to find some War Machine stuff to do. Maybe that's what we do in July, is we find a War Machine tournament to go to. Sounds great. And then I'm also going to try to find some more Infinity events to go to. So I'm trying to get through May right now because I have 3 GTs in May. I'm trying to not do that ever again. I would like to go to it would be realistic for me to have one day a month and 1 GT a month,
right? For
something. So 3 GTs in a 1 day, which I've done now. not okay.
He's trying to see what his mental capacity is before he just relax out.
My mental capacity is already broken, and I haven't gone to the GTs yet. Man. So.
Well, the reason I brought this up, and it's going to community, I was watching, and I don't remember which podcast it was, but I watched or listened to
probably Tabletop Tour Guides.
It wasn't us, I would say. Well. I listened to our audio, too, and stuff, but when I go to work, it is a 42-minute drive there and 42-minute drive back every day, so I get bored of listening to radio, so I listen to podcasts. And recently, there was a tournament that was being held, and I don't remember where, but they didn't really treat it as a tournament. They treated it as it was called a tournament, but it was really more kind of like our get-togethers for our
Like our game days
training days.
or training days, yeah.
But it was more to the whole community. Just come out, bring a beer, pencil list. There are no prizes, but we do provide food. Had a ticket stuff, and there'd be raffles and stuff. But it was just to promote the community and all that, and it got pretty high success. And I thought that was a really cool tournament idea.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
Tournament, I would say. There wasn't a winner. So
But an event, right?
Yeah, it's an event. They didn't feel like they had to bring the most competitive thing.
Yeah.
There was no winner or loser. It was just come out, play, enjoy stuff, enjoy free raffles, enjoy meal that was provided because of the ticket price. And
I mean, I like winning, but
people love winning. But this was just like it was almost to just build the community. It was like, hey, come meet people from around.
Yeah, community builders.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
And by getting rid of the
element of first, trying to win,
trying to get first,
yeah,
the fights of trying to get first, just have fun.
That really helped you kind of hone in the toxicity of that might have happened for new people. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, well, cool.
Well,
anything else to add to that?
I can't think of anything. Okay. Else.
Well, then let's end this with a question or two to the audience. So, you guys listening, what got you into wargaming? What did a friend get you into wargaming? What was it? Was it a certain product? Was it something you saw online? Something you saw at the store?
Was it us?
Was it us? I mean, other than us, actually. I mean, even you guys that have been playing for decades, we're what kept you into wargaming. You're welcome.
We're inspiring you. We got it.
Inspiration gained. So, no, what got you into wargaming? And then also, what was your first purchase? What was the first thing you bought when you got into wargaming? And any of these other questions that we asked, answer those too. Tell us all the. Let's go over them real quick one more time. What got you into wargaming? What would you encourage people to do to get their friends or themselves into wargaming and make them aware of it? And then what do you wish you had whenever you were starting? And then what was the first thing you bought? I really want to know what people bought. Because
I'm gonna go back and now research what I bought. I remember the models.
Okay.
I just don't remember.
I bet it was Assault on Black Reach. It probably was. So let us know. Let us know what was your first purchase. And it could be something as simple as like I got the free model at the GW store and I bought some paint and a brush. It could be something as crazy as I bought the Christmas Battle Force box because I knew I was going to enjoy this. It doesn't have to be even 40K. What was it? What got you into gaming? So, all right. Well, guys, keep gobbling up them adventures. We'll see you next time.
See ya.